Welcome everybody to Daytona International Super Speedway for the first Super Speedway race this season in the Clover Cup Series. And for the second time this year, I'd like to welcome Interstate Battery Cup Series to the booth.
Welcome everyone to Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing in Daytona Beach, Florida. Thanks for having me up in the booth, CRC. Daytona has a lot of rich history and some great racing that I'm sure is going to be applied in today's race.
Yeah, they'll definitely be pushing and shoving those bumpers built for this type of racing. But hopefully none of those goes awry, because we will see cars go up if they go awry.
Yeah, absolutely. But Daytona is a very unpredictable track. It's very hard to predict any winner here, so we're going to have to see how today's race is going to play out. Now, folks, let's take a look at today's starting lineup.
On pole for the first Super Speedway race of Season 1, Michael McDowell will lead with Christopher Buescher rounding out the front row of all Fords.
Row 2, you'll find Ryan Blaney and the two of Austin Cindric, Penske teammates.
In row 3, you'll find Josh Berry, and the first of the Toyotas, Christopher Bell.
In row 4, you'll find Kyle Busch and the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
In row 5, you'll find a pair of Fords, the second of the Stewart-Haas Racing Fords of Chase Briscoe, and the last of the Penske Fords of Joey Logano.
Row 6, you'll find a Toyota teammates of Martin Truex Jr. and the 23 of Bubba Wallace.
In row 7, you'll find the Legacy Motor Club Toyota of John Hurt Nemechek alongside Chase Elliott.
In row 8, you'll find Hendrick Motorsport teammates of Kyle Larson and the 24 of William Byron.
In row 9, you'll find Carson Hovercar Hocevar alongside Ty Gibbs.
In row 10, you'll find Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Ross Chastain.
In row 11, you'll find Alex Bowman and Corey LaJoie.
In row 12, you'll find another pair of Toyota teammates of Tyler Reddick and the 43 of Eric Jones.
In row 13, you'll find a pair of Fords, being the last of the RFK cars, one in the back, one in the front. The one in the back, Brad Keselowski, alongside the middle set of the Ford SHR cars of Noah Gragson.
In row 14, you'll find the 16 of AJ Allmendinger and the 41 of Ryan Preece.
In row 15, you'll find BJ McLeod and JJ Yaley.
In row 16, you'll find the 3 of Austin Dillon and the 99 of Daniel Suarez.
A big field here, 32 cars. We got some radio for Denny Hamlin about his thoughts on the race.
Be smart, put ourselves in good spots. We'll be there at the end.
Wise words from the crew chief of that number 11 car. Gonna be needed, but we're gonna come to the green flag right about now.
Good jump for Michael McDowell on the start. Christopher Buescher now still side by side with him. McDowell's not fully clear, but with help from his Ford teammate, McDowell's barely edging out Chris Buescher as they're both dead even as they come to turns 3 and 4.
Side by side, still gridlocked. The 34 looking to pull out an advantage. He goes to the high side. Blaney falling back. That's the difference that one car can make, but through the travel they'll jump back to the bottom.
4 Fords are right now in. There's a 4 Ford train right now, as led by Michael McDowell. Chris Buescher still behind him, as the top 3 gonna catch it at the top. Ryan Blaney, Chris Buescher, and Michael McDowell block Blaney's teammate of Austin Cindric.
Nice orderly conduct. Starter is now 3 wide in the back. A single file as they go up to block. As Berry has gotten shuffled down the middle. That's not going to end well. If he cannot find a hole, he'll be in the back of the pack. As McDowell goes back to the bottom of the
Yeah, now the Ford train only consists of
Larson around.
3 Fords.
In the wall.
Yeah, spin. Kyle Larson.
And he's on fire.
Turned into the wall on the back straightaway.
The caution
Will
understandably
come out.
out.
Let's take a look at a replay of that. Wait, what?
Caution understandably out there. And that is a huge hit. Lucky he didn't go over. He was up in the air. You can see the height that car got.
And man, you saw the air time for Kyle Larson. Is he on fire? I believe so. Yeah, but Larson will be out of today's race. Super speedways are not really Larson's best track, so that's something you should watch out for the 5 car today.
Yeah, understandable why the AMR safety team's so quick to respond. And he was on the scene as soon as the fire started, got that put out as quickly as possible, but man, we did not even make it through a third of this race clean and green. We barely even made it a quarter.
Well, this is what I was talking about, CRC, when I talked about how Daytona is so unpredictable. You can't predict the winners. You can't predict when the caution comes out. A caution could come out at any time, whether it be the start of the race or possibly the end of the race. Who knows? But Kyle Larson looks like will not be able to finish today's race as
We got
he's
radio
going to
from the
get
5.
towed.
I was checking up, so that's embarrassing.
Yeah, you heard about that. Checking up on the bottom, trying to build a run, and did not end the greatest there for the 5. He is in the garage. Only car involved, it looks like. We might have had more. There's some on pit road right now.
Yeah, you heard how upset the 5 was. As you see the 23, the 11, and the 77 all getting repairs on pit road. Some duct tape on the grill, the right side. And we're back underway. Michael McDowell from Bush from Kyle Busch and Christopher Buescher.
Well, he's on the backstretch right now, just ahead of this pack. He's about maybe 40 miles an hour off the speed. There's no way. McDowell below the line. Oh, they're wrecking.
Oh, Austin Cindric. Big crash. Kate Martin Jr. involved in it. Ryan Blaney, the big one at Daytona. Let's take a look at that. Because of Bubba Wallace being in front of the 8 of Kyle Busch, it caused like all of this mayhem.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace just
hard
been
hit
parked.
Austin Cindric. And look at Chase Briscoe. I believe Wallace was slow on the track, parked, I believe, right, CRC?
Yeah, he's parked. Officials hold Bubba Wallace to the garage. He is done. He'll be joining all the cars he took out, essentially. But not the greatest of moves. Could have gotten on that apron, but was trying to hold his ground. You can see at least 10 or 12 cars involved in this incident. Most of them out. The Penske car is done. The Hendrick cars are done. As they're back green and Hocevar is around.
Big spin for Carson and Hocevar. The caution will come out. Let's take a look.
They're still
at
green.
A replay of that.
They're still green.
Wait, what?
They are still green. Hocevar got it back rolling. We are still green as Hocevar has just pulled it to the garage. Coming down the backstretch right now. We'll take one last look at it. Yeah, he just looks like something went off the radiator, and Dylan just plowed into the back of him. But Bell leads as now McDowell to the top.
Leader, here comes Michael McDowell with a big run right now.
This is around, into the wall.
He's going to get turned by Kyle Busch. Around goes Michael McDowell, and Denny Hamlin has taken the lead.
And that might have ended the race. That was a huge hit for McDowell on that inside wall. And that was not one of those Armco safer barrier walls.
So yeah, fellas, point easy, but got it done. Great work, DH.
Hey, Denny Hamlin,
And
congratulations.
you hear the 11 team. You hear the 11 team celebrating now. I believe he has won this race. Denny Hamlin from a potatoed car has won at Daytona.
How about that? The most damaged car in the race managed to do it. Well, aside from the ones that didn't finish, but, you know, you can't win the race if you're not even in the race.
Absolutely. And for drivers like Bubba Wallace, who pretty much wrecked out of today's race, went well for them. They got a lot of things they got to take note of coming in the next race.
As we're going to look at the results here, Denny Hamlin with the win. Kyle Busch in second. That's going to be a very close points battle between the two. We'll see how close in a second, but there is your top 10.
Yeah, and you see drivers like Michael McDowell who had some great runs today. Wasn't enough, unfortunately. Wasn't able to get the win. Well, let's take a look at your point standings. Denny Hamlin, with this win, has taken the points lead by 1 point over Kyle Busch, and the battle for first right now is like long is better, has something like that. And drivers like Christopher Bell are long gone from that points lead.
All it takes is one win, though, to bring you in. It's just 50 points to win. And it's 10 down to second with 40, 10 down again to 30, and then 20, and then 19, and so on until you get nothing. But anything you want to add before we end the broadcast day?
It was a great race today. The World Center Racing did disappoint today. Can't wait for the next Super Speedway race in the Clover Cup Series. But yeah, that's probably about it.
Definitely subscribe to the State Battery Cup Series. It's got some good races going, good series going. But thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.